it's Eddie Trunk, and this is the Best of Trunk Nation on this Wednesday. Best of show for you today because I am attending the funeral of Ace Frehley, which is happening today. So with that in mind, we are continuing to celebrate Ace, and we have a Best of show featuring one of his many appearances on this show. This goes back to 2019 when we were doing the Rainbow LA Invasions, November of 2019. And sadly, it features two artists who have passed away. Taylor Hawkins will be joining us in this show. You'll hear him with his band, which featured Chris Chaney and Brent Woods. Now, what's interesting is Chaney is the bass player now in AC/DC. Brent Woods is now the guitar player in Gene Simmons' band. And of course, sadly, Taylor Hawkins has passed away. Also in this special was Ace Frehley joining me in LA. So it was a fantastic LA invasion from 2019 with two legendary artists who have sadly left us. With that in mind, let's take you to the Rainbow on the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles for the Best of Trunk Nation. Enjoy. We're outside on the patio, better known as Lemmy's Lounge, and we are just outside under the stars here, and we are really excited about our latest LA invasion. Coming up in just a little bit, Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters and his band, the Coattail Riders, will be here for hour number 2. And he's here already. He's chomping at the bit to get up here, so let's just get to it. He is standing right in front of me, so let's get him up. Ladies and gentlemen, the legend, the one, the only, Mr. Ace Frehley, our lead guest in the house. Give it up for Ace, everybody. Take a seat, buddy. Hold on, Ace is he's getting situated here. Hold on. What he's always got? What is this? He's spraying me down with something. What is that? Is that sanitizer or do I stink? Is it perfume? What is it? Demon Be Gone holy water spray. What are you, the exorcist now? What are you doing? What? Hold on. Wait, take the mic so we can hear you, first of all.
Can I curse?
Yes. You can. Say whatever.
No, this is the real shit. It's holy water.
Let me see. Where'd you get this?
From the girl who I do energy work with, you know.
You do what work?
She does energy work. She puts stones on me.
Really?
Yeah.
How long you been doing that?
For about the last 5 months.
What does it do for you?
I feel wonderful.
You do? Hot stones? What is it? Tell me about how...
Yeah, warm stone. Then she puts like a warm compress on over my eyes, and then we pray, and it's a one. I was there last night for 3 hours.
You do it? That sounds like...
She doesn't play with me, if you know what I mean. It's none of that stuff.
No happy ending?
No happy ending. That happens later.
It sounds like a very Southern California sort of thing to do.
Yeah, well, you know.
You lived out here for a while, but now you're going east, right?
I'm thinking about it. No, I've actually made a commitment to go back east.
You're coming back to the East Coast. You look like you've got a bag with you. You look like you're ready to go right now. You're in the middle of traveling. What are you doing?
The black guys love this when I go through security.
Why is that?
Because it's Gucci.
Oh. All right, so Demon Be Gone holy water is what Ace just sprayed down the set. It's got directions and everything on how to use it.
Yeah, you just spray it, you know.
Everybody has been...
You're all blessed now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be... Hey, did I tell you I'm going to do a show at Caesar's Palace?
No.
Well, how long have I been telling you I want to do stand-up comedy?
A long time.
Yeah. So I finally got a booking at Caesar's Palace, but I'm going under a fake name.
For real?
Yeah.
When is this going to be?
In the spring.
Can you say the name?
Yeah.
What is it?
Schmecklehead McGinty. What happened?
Are you?
I'm only kidding. That was a joke.
Are you seriously you want to seriously try stand-up?
Yeah, at one point in my life, maybe when I hit 70.
Well, how far away is that? That's a couple years.
Couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. I think you'd be good. You always told jokes on stage.
You know, I was a better joke teller when I was loaded. You know, it's hard for me to remember the jokes now that I've been sober 13 years. You know, you remember me when I was on a run. I could rattle off 50 jokes.
Yeah. Ace would have people howling backstage with his jokes. Hey, so let me ask you this. We're here in Southern California. We're at the Rainbow. Do you remember
I've never been here before. Jesus Christ.
For real? Is that true? You've had to have come here a lot, right?
Well, in the 80s, they used to have to step over me because I was loaded on Quaaludes going to the bathroom. I was like a piece of furniture.
Do you remember the first time you came here? The very first time?
First time I came, it was with Paul, Gene, and Peter. We had just had our first album put out, and we flew out here, and we were staying at the Ramada Inn. Remember that had 2 levels? We used to jump off the second level into the pool. You know, we were kids. We were like 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
All for one for all. What happened? What happened?
Now it's all for 2, none for 2.
Yeah, Paul and Gene have separate dressing rooms. What's that all about? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I love those guys, though. You know, you can't help it. You know, you start something that big, you know.
Well, hold on a second. They started something that big, and so did you and Peter. All 4 of you started something that big.
That's what I meant. We all started something big.
Yes. They've continued it for many, many decades. But where are you at with them these days, Ace? Because you were on their cruise like a year ago, and you got on the cruise, and I know you got up and played with them a little bit as the cruise set sail. So are things on good terms now?
Oh, yeah. I've been in touch with Paul, you know. In fact, I was with Paul's son the other night at the Canyon Club. We took a photograph together. He came to the show, and Paul was too sick because he's got the flu, and they had to cancel the Australian leg. But, you know, I'm on good terms with all the guys. I speak with Doc McGee every so often. He tells me jokes about those guys. Because, you know, those guys don't get high, you know. And when I used to get loaded, Doc would come to my room when he wanted action. You know, if he wanted to go play blackjack and play roulette, you know, he'd call me up, you know, and then when he wanted to get something more than that, you know, I'd always have 4 or 5 girls in my room, so.
Yeah, Ace.
What happened?
Ace is where the party was, for sure. So you, but just to, they've been out and they've said that, you know, they've set a date. You know that they've set a date for what they say will be the last ever Kiss show in 2021.
Don't ever believe the last date. When I left the group and they said the reunion tour and there was the farewell tour, that was supposed to be the end. You know, every time it's the last tour. Who the hell knows when it's going to end? It'll end when they have gray hair coming down to their knees, you know, with a beard like ZZ Top.
Well, and you can't believe any farewell tours anymore because look what just happened with Motley Crue a few days ago, right? I mean, no band ever made a bigger deal about not coming back, and now they are coming back. So I think the days of anyone believing any farewell tour from any artist are more than over. But the Ace, just on this subject, and then I know there's a lot you want to talk about. You got a new record coming. There's a lot to cover. But you said you've been in touch with Doc. Doc has been in the press, and he said that he's been in touch with everybody because he wants them to come back in some capacity for the final shows or the final tour. Where do you stand on that? Where do things stand on that for you?
It's still up in the air, you know. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, I particularly wouldn't want to come back for just one show. You know, if they want to bring me back for the last year, that's something I would entertain for the right price. But I don't see myself coming back for one show.
Right. So, but
does that make any sense to you?
Yeah. Right.
Does that make any sense to anybody?
Well, I think it does because you would have to put a lot of work in. They would to do it, and what's the point for doing it for a few songs or something?
Exactly.
You want to make it, you know, make
exactly.
It
but you know, me and Doc, you know, we talk every so often. You know, we crack jokes. You know, I was always Doc's favorite. I'm everybody's favorite. Right?
Ace is everybody's favorite. Clearly. Let me ask you about when you first came here to L.A. Now, the time you're talking about when you were telling that story, that would have been when you recorded Hotter Than Hell in L.A. That was the first time you guys all came here, right?
Hotter Than Hell, yeah. What was over, you know, I got no memory. Don't you know where we recorded that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Does somebody know where Hotter Than Hell was recorded?
Aren't there any
in
Kiss freaks here?
What is it? Sunset.
I'm trying to remember the name of the studio. I remember Joe Cocker walked in one day completely blasted. You know, I think he was smoking stiff and glue or something. I don't know. It was pretty crazy.
What are your memories about seeing L.A. as a New York guy for the first time and coming to L.A. and being here the first time?
Well, we stayed at the Chateau. Well, first we stayed at the Chateau Marmont. That was the very first place we stayed. And then once we, you know, they said we need to stay here for a long, extended period of time, they moved us to the Ramada Inn because it was a lot cheaper. I guess they were saving money.
Right.
You know, but, I mean, we've had, you know, There used to be a club here called the Starwood. Now that was a rock and roll club. But you know what the great thing about that place is? There was like 3 rooms. One room they were having like a play, a rock and roll play. Another room was like a dance room, and then the other room was like a hangout place to pick up people. So Blackie Lawless comes up to me one night and he goes, "I got this gal for you." I go, "What's the deal?" He goes, "She's Superman's daughter." So I get to the house, and I'm walking up the stairs. She cracks open a bottle of wine, and halfway up you go up halfway, and then the staircase is cut. Halfway up the stairs, there's the cape.
The cape?
George, yeah, he uses his cape.
In the place?
Yeah.
Wow, so she really was Superman's daughter.
Daughter or cousin or something, family member. The cape was there, inside a glass case, I swear to God.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, let me ask you a story. I always wanted to know if this was true or not. This is a rumor that went around. You played Dodger Stadium with Kiss on the Psycho Circus tour, Halloween night. Someone said there was a story that when you guys left that place, there was so much traffic that you actually got out of the vehicles and walked, and because it was Halloween, everybody thought it was just Kiss impersonators. Is that true? That's true.
That is true. That rumor is true.
Take us through that then. So you leave.
Take you through it. What do you want to know? We got out and we walked.
How far did you walk?
What's so exciting about that?
In full costume.
Yeah, but everybody thought we were idiots dressed up in Kiss makeup.
That's amazing. Where did you walk? Was it on Sunset? Do you remember where it was?
I don't remember.
That's incredible because so many people dressed up. Oh, look, those guys look really good as Kiss on Halloween.
Those guys almost look like Kiss. And then somebody said, "It is Kiss." And they said, "Nah, it can't be. If it was Kiss, they wouldn't be walking on the street."
I love that story. That is amazing. That's something only Kiss could get away with doing. Is like, oh, that's Halloween. They look great. It actually is Kiss. No,
so you do this once a month here, right?
Yeah. So what happened was Ace and I were talking, and he said, "When am I?" Like a week or so ago, he said, "When are you going to do? When am I going to do your show again?" And here you are.
We were talking in Houston, right?
Yeah. Last week at phone
in the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah. What are you looking for on your phone?
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna play it for you. And it's not my new record either.
Well, we're going to get to that in a second. We'll get to that.
But I told you I met a new gal, and there's somebody special in my life, right?
You're right. I met her. Very nice.
Okay, so I couldn't, she asked me, and I was trying to explain to her how I felt about her. And it was hard to put into words. So I was watching a movie, and I just grabbed about 15 seconds of a film, and that encapsulates how I feel about this woman.
So what do you look for?
But I don't want to bring up names because she's a very private person. She's an elementary school teacher.
Have you met the students?
I haven't even been to the school, let alone met the students.
I want to see that day when you come in and address the class.
I just bought this watch at a pawn shop. It's $10,000 watch. I got it for $3,000.
You think it's real?
Of course it's real. It's a Breitling.
I don't know anything about watches, man.
You better go back to school, pal.
Yeah.
Right. So, we text back and forth all the time.
But I don't know what you're looking, because since the minute you sat down,
hold on a second. I got to find, it's coming up right here. Here's my wrestling buddy. We're doing a record label together.
I want to talk to you about all this stuff, but when you're done scrolling through your
Pollyanna.
Well, I got to spray Ace.
How many people have seen the movie Pollyanna with Haley Mills? It's a good movie.
Oh, I think I got to spray Ace down with some Demon Be Gone. Hold on a second.
Oh, here it is. I got it. Okay. So, we were talking back and forth. I love you, you love me, bada bada bing, bada boom. And then, here it is. So I sent her this and I said, this might be a little corny, but this encapsulates how I feel about you. Here it goes.
Jesus,
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I can't. I'm tough.
I know. What a romantic Ace Frehley is, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the video playing. Oh, my God. Amazing.
Anyway, she's listening. I told her I was going to do it. She said, okay. Just don't mention my name.
All right. Well, you didn't. You're in the clear on that. All right. We got a lot to do.
Isn't that cute? I can't help it. I'm a hopeless romantic. God has this really good sense of humor. I have to wait 68 years to find the love of my life.
How long have you been sober now?
13.
Congratulations, man. 13 years.
And everybody says I look younger now than I did 15 years ago.
When you come into an environment like this where you just talked about you were part of the furniture they had, you just have to walk over you because you were so loaded. But you come into a place which is notorious for people being loaded, the Rainbow. Is it hard for you? Or
Not at all.
No?
My sponsor for me, he told me that one day I'll be able to swim in a pool of vodka and not even want to take a gulp. And it doesn't bother me when people drink anymore. I mean, come on, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Look at pictures of me 15 years ago when I'm all bloated and, you know, broken out from drugs and alcohol and cocaine. It was a waste of life, you know. Finally, I woke up, you know. God looked down at me and said he was going to help me out. And here I am, 5 records later with a new album coming out in March. What else you got to do?
Yeah, well, I'm proud of you, man, because I knew you in the day, you know, I knew you.
You knew what?
I lived it.
I was so drunk. All I wanted was a fillet of fish. Tell the story.
Does anybody have Ace's first book? You people have to have Ace's book, you know. So Ace called me up when he was doing that book, and he said, because most people know Ace and I have a history, almost 35 years of friendship, and he called me up and he said, I'm doing this book, I need a story. He goes, I don't remember everything, I need a good story, give me something. So I used to wear like 2 hats in the late 80s because I was a radio host with a radio show, but also I was working for Ace and I signed him to his record deal at that time. So we went around.
I'm vice president.
Yeah, the Megaforce. So we went around and we drove around. We were doing press all around New Jersey and New York. And he was doing radio interviews and he was hammered most of the day. I'd have to pull him out of the limo and pull him into the venue or the radio station. And we get to the last interview, and the last interview of the day was the station I was working for also. And
What was it called?
WDHA. And you were slouched in the back of this limo like I never saw anybody more out of it. I don't know what to do. I'm shaking him. I'm pulling at him. I go, Ace, this is the most important one. I work here. I'm going to get fired if you don't get in there and get on the microphone. And he's just in the back, drool coming out of his mouth and shit. And he says to me, out of the slur, he goes, fish sandwich.
You kill him.
And I lean in and I go, what? 2 fucking fish sandwiches at McDonald's. So I turn to the limo driver. I go, down the highway, there's a 24-hour drive-thru. I threw him $20. I go, buy like 6 fish sandwiches. Filet of fish with tartar sauce and cheese. They come through the window. It was like dangling something to a dying man. I put him in the back. That resuscitated you. You came back. He did the best interview I've ever seen him do.
Hey, I had low blood sugar. What do you want? What do you expect?
He knocked him down and kicked right into action. That was the trigger for you.
Yeah. Well, I just stopped for Chinese food. I had to take a leak, and it was one of those fast food Chinese places. Me and my bodyguard Jimmy, and I had to take a leak, and then I go, "This smells good." That's why we're late.
No, you're right
I
on
just had
time.
some cheese. We had some orange chicken and fried rice. Yeah, but I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's good
What
stuff.
the hell?
All right, we got to take a break. Ace is here for the rest of the hour. Now, in hour number 2, Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters will be here with members of his band, the Coattail Riders, which includes my good buddy Brent Woods, as well as Chris Chaney. They're all going to be here, and they are all obviously big Ace fans. So they asked if Ace could stick around for a little bit during the beginning of their hour, which
Why not?
coming up at 8 o'clock Pacific. So we'll do more with Ace until 8. Then we'll bring those guys up. We'll do a segment with all of them, and then we'll talk to them. And that's the show that we're looking at tonight here at the Rainbow in
That's the
LA.
extra chairs over there.
Yeah. So we got a lot more to cover with Ace. He's got a new record coming, as he just kind of mentioned for a second. We also have a microphone here in the audience, maybe a couple questions. I see Kiss shirts right in the front row, so I'm sure we got some questions from the audience. We'll do it all when we come back here on Trunk Nation, live from the Rainbow in Los Angeles on Sirius XM 106 volume.
Here at Trunk Nation, we understand the uncontrollable urge to call, but don't because Eddie's not here. This is the best of Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk, Sirius XM's Faction Talk. Welcome back to the best of Trunk Nation. So good, you have to hear it again. Faction Talk.
We're back. Rock the Rainbow. Ace Frehley is with me here in hour number 1. Coming up in hour number 2, Taylor Hawkins will be here with his band, the Coattail Riders. They've got a brand new record that is really, really cool that's just been released. We'll get into that and talk a little Foo Fighters and whatever else with Taylor when he comes.
What's a Foo Fighter?
Oh, yeah, ask Taylor. That's the first thing you should ask him when you see him.
When he shows up.
Yeah, he'll be here in a little bit. So we were just. Ace is just showing me ridiculous stuff on his phone.
Read it. Read it and weep. You love?
Yeah, you're messing me up. So we're sitting here right next to the Roxy. So on your Origins album, you did Fire and Water with Paul Stanley singing, and you shot the video for it right over there, right?
That is correct.
So you were saying the other day that Paul's son came to your...
No, what happened was have you noticed that the guitar solo on that song is really, really long?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a good solo. Not to blow my own horn. But originally I had the solo that long because I wanted Paul to do the second half, or vice versa. And he said, you know what? My son's the guy to do that. And I said, well, I appreciate that, but, I'm only, having guest stars on the album that really have a lot of notoriety. So he said, well, Ace, you take it. Which was very kind of him. And he did a great job on the video. And then we did a quick little interview after the video with Ken Gullick, and you can see that on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we have over 1 million views on that, so that was a very special day.
Yeah, I thought that was a great version of that song as well. So that's interesting that the solo's that long because you originally were going to have Paul take one and you were going to take one.
Correct.
So you did almost all the lead guitar playing in Kiss, but did you often encourage Paul back in the day?
We traded off leads on a couple of songs.
Right.
Don't ask me which ones.
I Want You comes to mind.
Yeah. We Rock Bottom. I did the Pick and Pop. We've done 2 or 3 songs where we traded off leads. I wish we would have done more, but we were always on the road, and when we weren't on the road, we were in the studio. And our life was like a roller coaster ride. When I think back of Kiss in the 70s, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster at Six Flags holding on for dear life. That's the way it was. You know.
Well, I saw you guys for the first time in '77 on the Alive 2 tour, which was I think most Kiss fans agree was the pinnacle. That was the height of Kiss mania. Do you personally have a memory or a moment in your time with Kiss that jumps out to you as being the thing that really even blew you away, that it was happening? A show, a moment, a record, a song? Is there anything that was really the most impactful thing in your time?
I get that question all the time, and the first thing that comes to mind is 3 nights at Madison Square Garden, because I'm a New York kid. So and you used to always say you used to meet under my poster at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Let's meet under Ace's poster, because I used to have a giant poster of me. Was the guitar smoking or not?
Yes. Yeah.
And I wonder what happened to that poster, because I'd love to get it and put it in my new home.
I'll tell you what Ace is talking about, because here we're in Southern California, so many people may have not been to Madison Square Garden back in those days, but late 70s through most of the 80s, they would have these big light-up posters as you walked into the garden of the most celebrated moments in Madison Square Garden history. Sinatra, Muhammad Ali knocking someone out, and there was Ace with the smoking guitar. So whenever we go to the garden, all rock fans would be like, meet under the Ace poster, and that's where you'd gather. And then now I'll tell you this, and I mean this with no disrespect, but all of a sudden we were all devastated because we all said, let's meet under the Ace poster, and this was probably around mid-late 80s, and the poster was changed because they redid them all, and it was a picture of Billy Joel at a piano. And we're like, no! Nothing against Billy, but Ace with the smoking guitar was a little more rock and roll than Billy Twinkle in the Ivories.
I love Billy Joel.
Who doesn't?
How many nights is he doing at Madison Square Garden?
He does like 1 or 2 a month, I think. It's like a residency.
No, I thought he does. I think like 12 or something.
No, I don't know how it works, but I think it's just consistently every month.
Continuous thing, just like you're here once a month.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. My residency is the patio at the Rainbow. His is Madison Square Garden.
I get it.
Yeah. So let me ask you about your record, because speaking of Origins, you did Fire and Water. That was an album of all covers. You've got Origins Volume 2 in the can, right?
It was finished a couple of months ago, and now we're just at the process of mastering and sequencing it. But originally, we were supposed to put it out in January, and now the record company wants to hold the release date to March. I don't know anything about selling records. I just know how to make them. So if they say they want to put it out in March, I said fine. It gives me more time to work on writing new material for my next studio record.
So for Origins, for people that don't know, they're records that Ace does covering other people's material and also redoing your own material because you do Parasite, you do songs you wrote or did.
I think I did one of Gene's songs on my last Origins volume. Or was that on my studio record?
You got
to help me out. I have no goddamn memory.
This has been going on for 30 plus years.
I used to do.
Hold on a second. You want me to tell you a little thing? You probably don't even know this.
Tell me.
So
he's laughing.
So as Ace mentioned, I used to work for his record label, right? There were times we couldn't wrangle him to get interviews done. And back in those days, people would send interviews. This before the internet. They would send their questions via fax.
Correct.
So you'd get a fax of 10 questions, and you'd fill it out, and you'd fax back the answers for the artist.
I remember. I know what you're going to say.
So we would get these, 15 interviews and all these questions. And Ace would sit down. I'd put him in front of him. He'd look at him. He goes, he'd ask me the answer to every question. Like, tell me about, and I'm like, Ace, you did, what do you mean? Because I don't remember. So finally, one day, I don't know if you remember, you just got up from the table. You pushed the whole stack of faxes and you go, you just fucking answer them then. You're giving me the answers anyway.
Exactly.
You know how many interviews in the late 80s were printed in magazines that they thought they were answers from Ace Frehley and they were actually me doing the answers? It happened.
Let's hear it for Ed Truck, ladies and gentlemen.
But thankfully, you do your own interviews now. You got
absolutely.
Your memory, since you got sober, your memory's much better, I think.
Huge difference. The problem is I can't remember the things I did when I was loaded.
Right.
So, but for the last 13 years, every day I wake up and I remember what I did the night before. Towards the end of my drinking days, I was a blackout drunk, which is pretty scary because I used to have to call up my bodyguards and say, I'll call up my bodyguard at 10 o'clock in the morning and go, what did I do last night? Who was I with? Did I hit anybody over the head with a chair? So, that's kind of scary.
Does it amaze you that you're still alive? Did you come close to dying a few times?
Well, let me tell you what happens. I think God puts everybody on this planet for a reason. And, since I've been sober 13 years, every time I perform a concert, I usually have meet and greets after the show, 10, 20, 30, 40, sometimes 60. But, for instance, I would say at least one out of every person that when I do a meet and greet, there's at least one person that comes up to me and says, Ace, I've been sober 2 years. Ace, I've been sober 5 years. They want me to hold their 5-year coin or their 8-year coin. Every year in AA, if you get sober, they give you a year coin. I got a 13-year coin.
Right.
So, I'm helping people, live longer lives and more fruitful lives because I'm a power of example.
But you know what?
Go figure.
And I think it's wonderful you're doing that because you are, I'm sure, inspiring a lot of people to turn their lives around and get
sure.
But
look, if I can stop drinking, anybody can. I started drinking when I was 13, and it took me a long time to figure it out. But the last time I got drunk was with Slash, and you were there. I ended up with like 5 girls in my room in Vegas.
Mandalay
Remember
Bay.
Those blondes from Canada?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, he doesn't want to talk about it.
No, I'm just saying. I remember Mandalay Bay. We were at the top of the Mandalay Bay, and that's when you fell off the wagon. But that was it. That was the last time.
No, I think I kept it going for about another month. And then I got a phone call from my daughter, Monique, and she was living in Florida at the time. And, a lot of alcoholics talk about they have that moment of clarity. Mm-hmm. Monique called me up and she goes, Dad, I heard you've been drinking again. I go, yeah, but I haven't done anything else bad. I haven't done any coke yet or I haven't done any pills. She goes, Dad, it's time to stop. So she goes, you better call up your sponsor and tell him to take you to a meeting tonight. And I looked in the mirror and I looked like shit. And I just said to her, all right, honey, I'll give Jimmy a call. I called up Jimmy Genta, my sponsor. He came and picked me up right after dinner, and he took me to my first meeting, and that was 13 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
He's like my guardian angel on earth. I got a lot of them floating around me.
Yeah.
You know, after like 10 car accidents, you know, somebody's got to be helping me.
Right. But here's what I was going to say. Do you know that as we sit here and talk right now, there are people around the U.S. and Canada listening to this interview right now, and they're saying, Ace is loaded. He's loaded. Do you realize that people still think that about you? Because you
I don't care what people think. You want to take a blood test?
No,
you can take
no.
it right now.
And I'm not saying you are, of course, but what I'm saying is because of your personality, you know, the way you are, people, or do you think sometimes people want to still believe the image or the history, they want to perpetuate it? I find
You
that
know,
with people.
Abraham Lincoln had a famous quote, if you want to find the bad in people and look for the bad in people, you surely will. But, you know, the bottom line is, you know, some people, you know, there's always those people that want to see somebody fall.
Right.
And some, you know, and then there's the people that want to look at the best in people. You know, I always try to look at the good in people.
Right.
You know, the glass is half full, not half empty.
So
And there's a lot of other people that are negative that want to see other people fail. And, you know, that's their problem, and they're going to have to live with themselves, you know? Like they say in the Bible, what you sow, you reap.
So you, Origins Volume 2 is coming. Origins 1 was all cover tunes that Ace picked, whether they be Kiss songs or his own songs or other people's songs. What can you tell us about the second volume? What the guests that are on it and the songs you decided to do?
I have a group of wonderful guests. I have Lita Ford singing Jumpin' Jack Flash. I have Robin Zander singing 30 Days in the Hole by Humble Pie.
Nice.
Came out fabulous. It was a lot of fun working with Lita, because Lita's like my sister. You know, Kiss and the Runaways used to tour together back in the 70s. So I've known, in fact, Lita came up to me about 5 years ago and she goes, hey, Ace, remember the night we closed that bar? I'm scratching my head going, yeah, I think I remember. But, you know, Lita's been over my house a dozen times, you know, and she's a wonderful gal. We've done some shows together. We played Vegas together. I think you were there that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she did a wonderful vocal on Jumpin' Jack Flash. I coached her for 2 days. She kicked somebody out of the studio with blonde hair. And you know what I'm talking about?
No. What do you mean? Lita kicked...
It was recording in my home. She kicked somebody.
Yes. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah.
And she ran out. Who else was on the record? I have Bruce Kulick doing a solo on Manic Depression.
Oh, nice.
I have John Five playing on a Beatles song, I'm Down.
Wow. Awesome.
And he did one other song I'm trying to remember. You know, my memory is not what it used to be. A little brain damage, but I still get through the day. What was it? John Five did, The Politician by Cream.
Who did that? John with you as well?
We did it. Well, if you listen to the Cream version, Clapton does a double solo. He's playing two solos at the same time. So what me and John Five did is he did a solo, I did a solo, and then Alex Solzman, my engineer, we did a crossfade. So if you listen to the song with headphones on, you hear me going from one side to the other and John going from one side back. So it's a really interesting mix. And if you listen to it with headphones, you get a big kick out of it.
For you doing a covers record, is the excitement of it the chance that on a record like that you can bring in all these guests? Somebody like John Five is an enormous fan of yours. You know that. He's a friend of mine as well. He's a great guy.
I just spoke to him 2 days ago.
So for you, is it fun? One of the things that you can be loose, you can change things up, you can have guests?
I have so much fun. You know, the great thing about doing a covers record is that I don't have to write the songs. So all I have to do is kind of make it my own and maybe change the guitar solo a little, maybe change the arrangement a little, and then get some guest stars, you know. I can knock it out in 30 days.
Did you do any Kiss songs or your own songs over again like you did on the first one?
I don't remember.
I'm trying.
Who knows? Come on.
Well, it's not out yet, so no one will know yet.
I might have a song with some. I'll have to answer that.
We'll look it up during the break.
These new phones, you don't even have to press the buttons. You just look.
It's crazy.
Facial ID.
I know, it's crazy.
Except mine's. It opened. Okay.
So I want to get some questions from the audience.
Yeah, why not?
For you, but before we do that,
more than a woman.
we should tell people. We should tell people you've got gigs.
Oh, I got a prize for you.
Prize for me.
A prize. A gift.
More than the Demon Be Gone
No,
spray?
that's not a gift. That's mine.
Oh, okay.
I just bring this around with me wherever I go. And I
right.
got a gift for you. Now, you ever get upset and frustrated with somebody and you feel like knocking them out or punching the wall?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Everybody gets that way, right?
Sure, yeah.
I got a gift for you.
All right. Let's see. Alex, stand by. We may need you here. Ace is opening the Gucci bag. The Gooch. I don't know. I have no idea what he's going to pull out of this thing. Let's see what we got. Thankfully, this is all being shot, so you'll see this on the Sirius XM app. What a punching bag. Look at this. All right, for the radio audience, is this really for me? Thank you. For the radio audience, this is a punching bag on a spring stand that you can just stick on the table. Let's try it out, Ace. Oh, it's deflated. Alex, you can blow that up during the break. You're a young guy. You got good lungs. You can do that.
Up.
Thank you, Ace. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, man.
I didn't know what was coming out of the bag.
Thanksgiving gift.
Exactly. All right.
Is there a pump in there? I don't know. No, I believe there is. I thought.
Ace doesn't skimp. If he buys a punching bag for a table, there's a pump in there.
Is there a pump in there? What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you?
You got to see young Alex scrambling to put together a punching bag.
It's got the spring.
Last month it was the Soundgarden box set he wrestled
What
with.
about the smoking flute?
Yeah. And now he's
was a good
inflating a bag.
We can put it together.
All right, let's take a break while Alex scrambles. We'll come back with more with Ace. We'll have the punching bag up and running. Taylor Hawkins standing by. And we got a lot more to do.
Yeah. We still got 20 minutes, just me, right?
Yes, just you for 20 more minutes. So we got more to cover.
Look at my new watch.
We'll get some questions from the audience coming up. So, Ace, before we take a few questions, you were showing me a photo on your phone during the break of some soldiers in Afghanistan wearing KISS makeup. Talk about that, if you will.
Well, I was doing a meet and greet, and a guy sat down and he said, I have a gift for you. And it was this gentleman. Where's the camera?
Alex,
he's a sergeant, the guy in the top. Anyway, these four guys wore KISS makeup, right? And they were chasing terrorists around Afghanistan. And he told me that they chased a bunch of terrorists into a mosque. And then they played my music blasting with big speakers. They ran out and they captured them, right? And, you know, he did his stint in Afghanistan. He got back safe. And in his mind, he felt that he got back safe and God protected him because he was wearing my makeup. So I'm standing there listening to the story, and I'm pretty blown away. And then, of course, I can't find the Purple Heart. But hold on.
They gave you a Purple Heart.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at this.
He gave me a Purple Heart.
That is unbelievable.
And I'm not going to lie. I mean, I don't bullshit anymore. I took this back to the hotel room, and the magnitude of what he gave me, because he went to the White House to get this. You get this from the President of the United States.
Right.
So I took it back, and I crawled into bed. I was alone, and I started crying.
Yeah.
Because I'm holding a Purple Heart, which is, I think, the second to the most highest award in this country, below the Congressional Medal of Honor. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, that is amazing.
I mean, you wouldn't believe how beautiful the handcrafted, the way this is etched and put together. So what I decided to do is I'm going to finally get a hold of this guy. I have his address and number, and I'm going to try to get a hold of his commanding officer. And I'd like to go over to Afghanistan and, you know, entertain the troops and maybe make a video out of it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm sure.
You know, and then, you know, if we sell it as a DVD, we can, you know, give like 25% of the proceeds to the families of veterans who've lost people, you know, whose sons never made it back. You know, you got to give back because these people put their lives on the line. And they provide us with freedom. You know, it's time to give back some of the.
I say all the time, they're the real rock stars, man. Those guys are the real rock stars.
I'm a pawn compared to them.
Hey, do you know what song they played of yours to blast the terrorists?
I don't remember what he said.
Strange Ways.
He said it scared the hell out. And the Taliban nicknamed those guys the Devil Clowns. And I decided I'm going to write a song for my next studio record called Devil Clowns about this whole story.
So there'll
be a song on my next studio record called Devil Clowns.
That is amazing. Soldiers in Afghanistan wearing KISS makeup. The Taliban calls them Devil Clowns, and they're blasting.
They're pretty scary looking.
Yeah, I got a feeling that Strange Ways would have been a good one that they could have been
Possibly.
blasting. That could have worked.
I forgot which song he said.
Let's get a few questions
Might
here
have
while
been
we.
Parasite, because that's pretty.
Yeah,
You know,
that would.
he said everybody got freaked out in the mosque because they're praying in there. Parasites blasting, through speakers, and they took off and they captured them.
Hey, you are doing shows this weekend. We should mention here in California, right?
I'm playing the something theater and help me out here.
You're remote stage.
The Ramona main stage, and then I'm playing Santa Clarita on the following day, and then I'm playing Pasadena on the 24th.
And you have
3 in a row.
For people who haven't seen Ace play with his band in a little while, you've got a new band, and the band is killer. You got some. How's that working out? You happy with everybody?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's the best band I ever put together. In fact, I just played Big Bear the other day, and I was on the front page.
Ace has got a bag. He's pulling out
Yeah, why not?
all kinds of boxing gloves.
I played Big Bear. I've
papers,
never been there before. This place is weird.
All right.
It's like 6,800-foot elevation, and I was worried that I was going to get winded because I'll never forget when Kiss played Denver. They call Denver the Mile High City.
Sure, yeah.
So it's, a mile up in the air, less oxygen content. So halfway through the show, we're looking at each other like going, why are we out of breath?
Yeah.
Because you're a mile high.
Right. Altitude.
Anyway, so from that point on, we started carrying oxygen with us. But I had oxygen that night. When I played, it was 6,800 feet elevation.
Wow.
Big Bear.
Wow. All right, let's get a few questions while we have a few minutes.
Okay, what do you got?
Lady's got the first Kiss shirt.
She's got
on.
my tattoo. She's got my name on her arm.
Oh, she's got Ace tattooed on the arm, the signature. That's amazing.
I remember that.
Wait, let's get your mic on because we can't hear you. Hold
Hello?
on. There we go. There you go. What's your name?
Level.
My name is Deneen. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Yes.
And on the Kiss cruise, I asked Ace would he play my favorite song, Snowblind, and he played it that night on the Kiss cruise. And then he played it again at the Canyon Club, and then they played it again last Saturday night. And
Yes.
that's my favorite song.
Is there a question, or you just wanted
No,
to...
I want to
That's a
thank you for doing
statement.
that, but I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
It pertains to the 78 solo album.
Uh-huh.
So I know he's done the entire album at a Kiss Expo.
Convention, yeah.
Yes, but will you do it again, and will you make a video of it? Because I know you expressed interest.
We've been
in
talking
doing
about that. Thank you. That's a very good question. My old manager thought it'd be a great idea to actually even do a tour of small theaters, just performing my 1978 solo album in its entirety with all those hits, New York Groove, bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. But it's only, 43 minutes?
If that, yeah. You'd have to
So
just do
we'd have
another
to do
set.
some extra
Yeah.
songs to supplement it. But I think it could be a good video. But I mean, I don't know.
When you did it the one...
It's not, but I'll tell you something. If you remember correctly, my last studio record was only 9 songs.
Right.
Why? 40 years later, Superstitious.
9 songs.
Yes.
Yeah. When you played that record
There you go,
top to
though.
bottom, when you made that record, did you realize that you were making what a lot of people would consider an all-time classic? Did you have that feeling in the studio?
I felt it was going to be a good record. I had no idea it was going to have the impact it did. And I never realized that New York Groove was going to be my biggest single because I didn't even want to record the song. Eddie Kramer's assistant brought that song to my attention in the studio, and I said, that's really not indicative of my style of music.
Right.
And it really isn't
No, it's not.
when you listen to my music. But Eddie Kramer pushed and pushed and pushed for me to do it, so we recorded it. Actually, we recorded that song at the recording studio in Radio City Music Hall, which was up the stairs to the left. And it was a wonderful studio, and I'll tell you why. Because while we were recording, every day the Rockettes would be walking up the staircase to go to the roof to sun themselves. And they'd always stick their head in the studio. And we ended up hanging out with some Rockettes that night. But that's another story for my second book.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Do you have anybody else that's got a question for Ace in the
They don't
audience?
care.
Come on up. Yeah, we got somebody in the back. You just got to come up to the microphone. We just need you to... We can't get to you. Tight space here. We got a lot of people here. Ace is still spraying me down with the demon spray as we speak for the radio audience.
Demon be gone.
Demon be gone. No demons tonight.
Hey, brother.
How you doing?
It's nice to meet you.
What's your name,
Such an
sir?
honor. I'm Lloyd, Loud Lloyd, you can go.
Loud Lloyd. Go ahead with your question for Ace.
Ace, Who was your favorite guitar player growing up that it inspired you to play, and did you ever get to meet him?
There wasn't one. You know, there were several. Obviously, I was hugely what's the word?
Influence?
Influenced. Thank you so much.
Why I'm here.
I was hugely influenced by the Beatles and the Stones. I mean, you know, automatically that was the first thing that hit me in the head. But, you know, then of course, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, The Cream. I mean, I cut school when I was 15 years old, and I went to see Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. And actually, that guitar player was I was a huge fan of Jim McCarty, because I loved the guitar solo in Devil with a Blue Dress On. And I figured it out when I was like 15 years old. I had to slow the record down a little. That's how we did it back then. You know, it was before digital recording. But to make a long story short, lo and behold, you know who was opening up for Mitch Ryder? The Cream and the Who.
Oh my gosh, what a show.
It was unbelievable.
Whoa.
It changed my life. I talk about it in my book if you haven't read it. If you haven't read it, read it, because it's a good story.
Yeah, the book is called No Regrets, came out a few years ago, and you're doing a second.
I need a title for my new book. Help me out.
Demon Be Gone.
They might think I'm talking about Gene.
Thank you, sir. We may have time for one more quick one. Come on up to the microphone real quick.
When you wrote Cold Gin, did you intend to sing it or did you give it to Gene?
I gave it to Gene because at the time I wrote that song, I was too nervous to sing lead. If everybody remembers anything about Kiss history, you know, the first lead vocal I ever did was at Madison Square Garden, and that was shocked me. Prior to that, you know, I was slightly intimidated as a lead vocalist because you have Peter Criss, you have Paul Stanley, and you have Gene Simmons all belting it out, you know, fantastically. And I never really considered myself a lead vocalist, and I still don't to this day. You know, I mean, I can fake it, but I really don't consider myself a lead vocal. The only vocal training I have is from the choir director in my Lutheran church up in the Bronx, you know, on Bainbridge Avenue.
But I think you've gotten better as a singer, especially with sobriety, especially live.
I think I'm playing better now than I was back in the 70s, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thank you for your questions,
Thank you
everybody.
very much.
We're coming up on a break here at the Rainbow, so we're going to take that break into the top of the hour, and we're going to reset the stage a little bit, and we're going to bring in Chris, Brent, and Taylor Hawkins, and the Coattail Riders, who are going to do a segment with Ace out here, and then we'll let Ace get out of here and spend some time with those guys just towards the back end of the hour.
This is the best of Trunk Nation, reheated and repackaged for your consumption on SiriusXM's Fashion Talk.
Of course, everything is always on the SiriusXM app. Maybe you're just joining us and you missed some of the stuff with Ace. You can always hear it on the app as well. And these are also being shot, so you'll see video on the app. A lot of ways to see and hear what we got going on. Get your mic.
Where do you see the video? On YouTube?
On the app, SiriusXM app.
Okay.
Yep, so we'll let everybody know when we get some
So
video.
my
up.
girlfriend's watching this right now, live?
No, you can't watch it live. You can listen to it live, though. We'll get,
Okay.
yeah, so the
But when
video.
we'll be able to see it live? Tomorrow?
I don't know how quick we'll turn it around.
Come on, you've been doing this a long time. I want the answers. I want them now. I want them now.
Charge. Ace is now moving into the co-host role at the moment because we're going to bring in our next guests, and they've just put out a really cool record called Get the Money. Of course, you know them from the Foo Fighters. This is Taylor Hawkins, ladies and gentlemen, along with Brent Woods and Chris Chaney, the Coattail Riders. You got to love that. Making their way to the stage. There he is. I see Taylor coming up here right now. There he is. What's going on, man? Good to see you.
Guitar player. Oh, dude, Eddie.
Good to see you, Taylor. Brent, Chris, nice to see you, man. Brent and I are still hungover a little bit from drinking with Tom Morello till 3:00 this morning.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, today was a rough one, man.
But I'm starting again, so it's okay.
You're back on the horse, man. That's impressive.
Tito's. Yeah, you can't stop now. Oh, we need.
Ace is spraying you down. Ace, tell them what you're spraying him with. They could get nervous about that. Ace has already got his knee in Taylor's.
This is holy water, and it's Demon Begone. And I get it from the woman I did my energy work with, Susan Queen. And it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, he uses that around Gene Simmons, too. Demon Be Gone. That's what he said. It's just...
You know, Gene is really, you know, he puts on that act, but when you get him alone, he's, you know, He's a sweetheart,
isn't he?
He's what?
He's a sweetheart.
He's a big love bug.
You got a lot of history with Gene Taylor and the Kiss guys?
A little bit.
A little bit? You were saying just as you sat down, and I know because when I've seen Foo Fighters, Chris.
Chris Shiflett you're his favorite guitar player.
Didn't Paul jam with you guys one night?
We jammed with Gene, Paul. We jammed.
Yeah. You got to get me up there one night.
You up there, but
Yeah.
Chris Shiflett, our guitar player, his go-to when he does his like Chris Shiflett guitar solo go is pretty much Ace Frehley guitar solo.
And he's got a picture of you on the headstock of the guitar.
Oh,
I
he's
think.
got it on his yellow Les Paul.
Ace, when you hear about now, Brent, who's the guitar player in the Coattail Riders here, he's told me many times he wouldn't be playing guitar if it wasn't for you. That's right, right?
That
Brent?
is true. I saw Ace play for the first time in 1977 at the Forum at the Love Gun Tour, August 28th, 1977. And I played drums at the time, and then I saw Ace, and I went, okay, I'm playing guitar. And that was it. So
He was
He
30.
just made the transition. Steven Tyler used to be a drummer.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. When you hear that, Chris, for you was
I played with Steven Tyler when he played drums. We did Wipeout.
oh, is that
Amazing.
right?
Roxy, actually.
I used to go out with his girlfriend,
Now, Chris, as a
That's one upping.
Debbie Benson.
as a bass player, was Ace or the Kiss guys an influence on you at all, or were you a fan?
It's interesting. We talked about this earlier. I went from like Beatles and Stones to Pink Floyd to then right into prog. Like, yes.
The Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu.
I love people that are influenced by Kiss because it's so refreshing. You know, like when I meet a girl that isn't a Kiss fan, you know, I want you to get to know me. Forget about Kiss. You know, get to know Ace, the real guy.
Right. So when you hear people like Brent or Chris Shiflett or any of these guys, they're countless that talk about what an influence
Buzz from the Melvins.
you were. Right. That's got to feel
I get it
amazing.
all the time. I'm an
John
elder
Bonham.
statesman. Who's older than me that's still doing it? Besides Keith.
Getting there.
Tim,
You know,
come on.
is Paige still playing?
sparsely.
Sparsely.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy Page has talked about wanting to do something for the longest time, but he just hasn't.
I mean,
done
he
it.
was such a huge. I mean, I saw Led Zeppelin's first New York show. They were opening up for Iron Butterfly. They were opening act.
Wow.
And after Led Zeppelin went off, half the audience left for the headliner. It was so embarrassing. I felt so bad for Iron Butterfly.
Hey, Ace, did you see the Jeff Beck group with Rod Stewart singing?
Absolutely, numerous times.
Did you with Mickey Waller playing
It
drums?
was
and
amazing.
That's like
Amazing.
proto Led Zeppelin, kind of, right? Like,
Excuse me?
that was like pre Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
Was that like
You
Zeppelin
would know
before
better
Zeppelin?
than me.
Sort of.
That was a
yeah,
little
I
before
mean,
me.
I remember
Jeff
with
Beck
Ronnie, they used plush amps. Ronnie Wood was on bass.
Jeff Beck Truth is like,
Yeah.
it's like,
I mean, in my room, I had Jeff Beck's Truth, I had Cream, I had Zeppelin 1, I had Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced. Those 4 albums were like, if you could play all the
Ambrosia.
solos on those records, you had it. You were down. You had it down.
You saw Hendrix?
Of course. I roadied for Hendrix.
How did that work? Tell me about that.
Randall's Island, 1970. I snuck backstage. There was a concert there, and it was like Mountain, Steppenwolf, Hendrix. But that was when he had already. Well, no, he was still working with Mr. Mitchell. I stand corrected. And after I had hair down to here, and I was wearing a black T-shirt with a snakeskin star, lemon yellow hot pants, and checkered Vans. So in those days they didn't have laminates. So I just was watching the rock stars come out and watch the other bands. And, they would just nod to the security guy who was standing there. And I looked like I was in one of the bands. So I just walked up and gave him the look like, yeah, I'm the guy. And he let me. So after about 15 minutes, they're all going, who is this fucking guy? So I admitted, I said, I'm nobody. But, I'm fans of everybody. And the production manager goes, can you do anything? I go, sure, I can set up drums. I can tune guitars. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. Next thing you know, I'm setting up Mitch Mitchell's drums.
Wow. Did you meet Hendrix?
Yes. Just a nod and a thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. Taylor, did you see Kiss back in the day? Did you grow up a Kiss fan? I know you're...
no, I mean, what's funny is I grew up...
Ace will like you if you say you're not a Kiss fan. We've just established that.
It's immaterial at this juncture.
In honesty, I grew up in the 80s, obviously, and my brother was like a new wave guy. So, like, hard rock was not really cool at my house. So, like, I had to hide my hard rock records. And when I started playing drums, I discovered Rush and Queen and all those bands, you know. And my brother was like, that's not okay. You need to listen to this Haircut 100 record because that's what's cool. But he did hand me The Police, Zenyatta Mandata. But, like, no, it was like, I hear so much. I hear people all the time that, like, had the older brother who had the Kiss Alive record and were part of the Kiss Army. I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with New Romantics.
When you just said when you started playing drums, did you play an instrument before the drums, or were drums your first instrument?
Drums. No, I wanted to play guitar, and I wanted to be a singer, and I wanted to be up front because that looked way better than being the dude in the back.
You have the image. You
know. But I tried to play guitar, and it just seemed like homework to me. It just seemed really hard. And then my neighbor had a crappy drum set, and he said, sit on the drums and do this. He said, if you can play this beat, you can pretty much play any song. And I just kind of could do it right away. And it was like a lightning bolt, bang, right through me. And I decided right then and there, that's what I'm doing with my life. I'm going to be a drummer. And that's when I discovered the kind of the English alter ego of Kiss, I would say, Queen. There's kindred spirit there.
What about John Bonham? He must have been an influence.
Well, that was later on. But I mean, I didn't know about Led Zeppelin. I didn't know about any of that. Literally, I was going from, like, you know, whatever was on the radio, which was, oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my money.
Tony
Mickey.
Basil.
You know, and, like, The Police and New Wave and then, like, you know, whatever my mom was listening to on the way to soccer practice, which was, like, the fucking Eagles or whatever, and which I love the Eagles, but, like, I didn't have a hard rock base when I first started. It was more New Wave and stuff like that, and then I kind of slowly found Van Halen, and I slowly went into Queen 1 and Queen 2 and Zeppelin and made my way to Kiss eventually.
Where did Pearl Jam fit in all?
That was like about 20 years later.
Yeah, that was a long time later.
See, I don't know shit.
Your timeline, Pearl Jam's way later than
So
what
these
we're
guys were
talking about.
before Pearl Jam?
Who, Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
No. Well, no. I mean,
a little after.
Dave was in Nirvana.
I just got all screwed up. I just was in the '60s, and now I'm in Pearl Jam. Foo Fighters.
I remember playing at this place over here, right there, the fucking Roxy, and it was the pay-to-play thing. And I was 17 years old. I was in this band called Heavens to Betsy.
You know, I think I remember that name.
Yeah, we were huge.
Because I had a girlfriend named Betsy.
We were huge in my we were huge on my block, but it was the pay to play thing. I don't know. You got to skip that, but like when you were like 17 in 1989, if you wanted to play at the Roxy or the Whiskey or whatever, you had to sell 150 tickets.
By the way, they still do that.
Well, I'm sure.
I don't know if there, but most venues still do.
I don't even know how it's still
do it
open at this
nationally,
point.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, we didn't sell the tickets, of course, because our band sucked. And also, and I remember getting kicked out of that backstage area. We got to play, and then they literally kicked us out. And we had stolen the name Heavens to Betsy from this other band in Orange County. I grew up down in Laguna, and they were back. They were right there, like, we're going to kick your ass for stealing our name. And we got kicked out of there.
It's their fault. They
Almost
didn't
got in a
copyright
fight
it.
with the other Heavens to Betsy, which is a cartoon, really. Right. And yeah, that was my first time playing Hollywood, man.
And they're still doing the ticket selling stuff. So, all right, well, we got to talk to Chris and Brent and Taylor about Coattail Riders, which of course is the new album Get the Money, which is really, really cool. And it's interesting what you're saying, because you're talking about all these influences you had musically with the new wave and then the hard rock and everything. And if you listen to the music you make, at least to my ears with this record,
I wear it on my sleeve.
It touches on all of it, doesn't it?
I call it clip art rock.
But I think that's really cool. To me, if someone asked me to describe what the record sounds like, it's a little bit of all of that. You're really jumping in a lot of different
Ace, when you were going to go do a guitar solo, you wanted to sound like Jeff Beck, right? A little bit.
Look, if anybody who who's a guitar player, if you really dissect my style, it's a combination of Beck, Clapton, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, B.B. King, all the great guitar players. I kind of all mixed it up and came out with Ace, you know. But those are the guys who taught me how to play. I never took a guitar lesson. Did you?
Oh, nor a drum lesson for that.
Oh, okay. Help me out.
Brent, as a kid, when you saw Ace and he inspired you to pick up a guitar, was it the playing, the image, everything? What made
everything?
the impact?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, seeing Kiss is a complete spectacle. You know, I mean, you're 11, 12 years old, just going, wow. You know, but Ace was just the cool guy on stage to me. He was the coolest guy up there. That I just kind of gravitated towards that. And then, you know, I heard Aerosmith and got into Joe Perry, you know. And
great guitar player.
Yeah, Jimmy Page, obviously, and Tony Iommi.
My idol.
But Ace is the reason why I wanted to put a guitar around my neck, you know.
There's a lot of people who could say that. I really
Thank
do.
you so much.
I'd say every guitar player in my generation.
Why don't we let these guys? Why don't you do these guys? I'm done.
All right, you're done.
I don't want to steal any of their thunder.
Do you need to spray anybody with Demon Be Gone before we go?
Does anybody need
Taylor's got demons. I can see
water.
Plenty of demons.
But it was nice meeting you guys.
All right.
Looking forward to jamming with you guys.
Ace Frehley, everybody. See him this weekend in here in Southern California.
Good luck with the new record.
And
thank you, everybody.
We'll come right
Thank
back
you,
with
Ez.
Taylor and Brent and Chris with more here from the Rainbow Trunk Nation LA Invasion, Sirius XM 106. And now we have Chris Chaney here, Brent Woods, and of course Taylor Hawkins. Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. The new album, you heard a little bit of it going into the break. We'll play you some more throughout the hour. Is called Get the Money. And Taylor, this is not the first album for Coattail Riders, right? You've done this before.
It's a moniker, really.
Is it?
No, I mean, me and Chris did a couple Coattail Riders records. The last one was like 10 years ago. And then we did other stuff. And
2006 was the first one.
Yeah, 2006, and then 2010. And we toured, and it was rad, and it was awesome. We had a great band, and Gannon Arnold, and the kid.
Nate Wood,
who's an amazing drummer. And I just, we just kept making records, but I just kept making little records. So I made one called The Birds of Satan, which was sort of an offshoot of Chevy Metal, which was with Mick Murphy, and he's like a gnarly heavy metal guitar player. And so we kind of made this sort of metal-inspired record, sort of. And then I made sort of a solo record, I guess, Taylor Hawkins, about 3 years ago. But
you were on with me for a record, K-O-T-A or something?
Yeah, Coda.
Yeah.
King of the Assholes.
I played Crotale. You know what Crotales are?
Oh.
I played Crotales on it.
What is a Crotale?
I played bass on it, and I played a lot of bass and keyboard
stuff.
What is a Crotale?
Taylor?
It's like something that's like on Neil Peart's Drum Kit, It's like a ding, 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 right?
Yeah, they're like
the
little...
bells?
Little bell kind of...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have...
In tune. They're, it's like a scale.
Well, so Chris and Taylor, you guys have a lot of history, right? You guys go back. Talk about your history. Does it go back to Alanis Morissette?
Started with gay porn, actually.
Nice.
Even prior to that.
I was a greaser.
It was before that.
Yeah, before that.
Definitely wasn't in the band then.
It was even earlier.
No, we started out with Alanis Morissette, bless her soul.
19-month tour, Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah.
95 into 96.
You know what's funny? Chaney, you know this, right? So she picked out the band, basically. She picked me, and she picked the guitar player, Jesse, and we didn't have Nick yet.
Nick came in later.
But she says, well, I've called these 3 bass players back that I liked. And Chris, when he first went to the first audition for Alanis Morissette...
And I wasn't even supposed to audition.
You didn't know any of the music, and you shit the fucking bed. And she accidentally called him back. It was a fucking accident.
Did you get butt dialed or something? How does that happen?
No, what happened? Well, it was before, internets and things.
But it goes deeper than that. Like, I wasn't supposed to even really I didn't even... My friend Yogi, who...
Was in Buck
That's
Cherry?
going deep.
Was in Buck
He was
Cherry.
in Buck Cherry.
Yeah, he goes, hey, can you help me audition? Madonna's got this new label. And I couldn't remember her name even. I was thinking like Alana Miles.
Atlantis.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah.
So anyways, he fucked up the audition.
Oh, I showed up with a cassette in my car and put it in.
Yeah, he shitballed the audition.
5 minutes before
She
I walked in.
accidentally called him back, but you did learn your shit by then. And he showed up. And he showed up and he kicked everyone's ass. Of course, he's one of the greatest bass players on the planet Earth, and we've been together ever since. In one way.
So who got the gig first with Alanis Morissette? You did, Taylor? You had it first. Neither of you guys are on the record, though, right? You didn't play.
No, we're definitely interlopers.
Well, the first time I ever saw you play was with Sass Jordan
Where was that?
at the Cat Club in New York City.
Damn.
Was that your first gig?
Yeah, that was my first, here's a paycheck.
Yeah.
$300 a week.
Yeah.
And a bunk on a bus.
Yeah.
An old bus.
But it would have to be significant for you because that was the first time
amazing.
you toured, right?
No, I was playing in bands. Like I said, we were trying to play these joints, and I was playing in this band, and we were like a bad Jane's Addiction. And it wasn't really going anywhere. I was working in a music store, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, I know this lady named Sass Jordan. I know the guitar player, Stevie Salas. I'm sure you know."
Yeah, Stevie, sure.
And they're looking for a drummer to go to Europe, and they have shows opening up for Aerosmith. I'm like, I'm in. And so I had to try out, and the first tryout didn't go so hot, kind of like Chaney's first tryout with Alanis. And the guy said, okay, learn the songs. Don't just do drum solos, and we'll try you out again next week. And I came back, and I kind of got through it, and that was a lot of, that was serious learning on the road. I mean, that guy would fucking scream at me like, "This ain't no fucking high school game, motherfucker, look at my eyes." And he was like, it was tough. I was a kid. I remember calling my mom crying.
Wow.
Like, I want to go home. She's like, "This is what you wanted, honey." So I muscled my way through the Sass Jordan gig, and that's how I met a guy named Scott Welch. And that was Alanis's manager, and he had signed her, and he said, "Hey, this girl, she's got these great songs. She's almost done with this record." And I was playing, my last gig was Sass Jordan at the I don't know, down the street. No.
House of Blues?
No.
The Coconut Teaser.
The Teaser. I don't know. The Pantages Theater. And we were opening up for Steve Perry of Journey. And I met Alanis, and she said, "Hey, maybe put a band in." She's really quiet and sweet and mellow. And then, 3 months later, I got the call. And then I went and auditioned.
Yeah.
And I got the gig.
Now, Brent, where do you obviously you do Chevy Metal with Taylor. So where does your history come in? Where do you start with him?
Well, I met Taylor from a friend of mine, Wiley Hutt, who's the bass player in Chevy Metal, who actually...
Great Wiley Hutt.
Yeah, was friends with our friend Dange, who Taylor actually grew up with, who went out with an ex-girlfriend, friend of mine.
We're losing people right now, bro.
I know, okay. So that was back in 2000. So that's how I met Taylor. And then I just started playing with Chevy, 3-4 years ago. And then he started doing this record and asked if I wanted to be a part of it.
Brent is an awesome guitar player, an awesome musician, an awesome songwriter, an awesome singer, and a survivor. What was the name of your band?
Which one?
Wild Side.
Wild Side.
Well, there's some love for Wild Side on the Rainbow Patio.
Here too from Wild Side.
There you go. So didn't your record come out 2 weeks before Nevermind or something like that?
Well, we were mixing it and it came out. I said, "We're done.
We're fucked. We're fucked.
Hey, how about this time?
I do it right away. I did. I go, "We're over. It's done. It's over with."
So you're making a new record of that time, and then all of a sudden, Smells Like Teen Spirit comes on MTV while you're mixing?
Well, there was an interview of them. We were mixing it with Steve Thompson and Michael Barbiero, who mixed Guns N' Roses and everything at that time, Metallica. Yeah. And Steve went to me, he goes, "Oh, this is that new band Nirvana." And I didn't know anything about him because the album wasn't out yet. I don't even know if it was recorded. He goes, "They're going to be really big." And they played something. I'm like, "Oh, if this band's big, we're done." And that's what happened. It's exactly what happened. Oh. But Alice in Chains and Soundgarden was out before that. So,
and Jane's Addiction was, Jane's Addiction, I think.
I remember going to the Foundations Forum in '91, and I just felt the change. I knew the change is coming.
I think Jane's Addiction was if the Chili Peppers and Fishbone.
Well, Jane started it.
There was REM. There was this movement to get back to sort of some form of intellectual in rock music.
Well,
I mean,
it did become redundant, and the
Yeah.
fans were all the same.
it happens with everything.
Even in Enema, I think everybody
It's
agrees.
happened with alternative rock, quote unquote. I mean, everything becomes redundant after 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you start with Van Halen, who were fucking geniuses. And then you get Rat, who are awesome. And then you go blah, blah, blah. And then by 1989, you're like, okay, well, that's over now. We need fresh blood. And I feel like Jane's Addiction was that first. They were for me. I mean, and Perry.
You saw them early on? And Perry's on the record.
Yeah. I saw them. They did 5 nights at John Anson Ford Theater. And I bought tickets, and I bought them, and they were the wrong night. And I went up there, and I didn't have the right ticket. Luckily, I had stolen $20 out of my mom's purse, and I bought a ticket off the street, and I got to go in and see Jane's Addiction, Perry with the corset and the green dreadlocks with the ring through his nose, and, and it was mind-expanding and they were just, they really, like, put rock and roll upside down again, and it needed to happen. And they were the beginning of what we now call alternative rock, I think, for me personally, even before Nirvana. Nirvana was the foot that kicked the door.
But interestingly enough, when you talk about what happened with the 80s, the same thing happened with that era, too.
Absolutely.
You had Nirvana, you had Jane's, you had Soundgarden, you had Pearl Jam, and
then you have Creed.
A million bands that sounded like them coming out later down the line.
Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Creed. And Creed are fine. They got great songs. Sorry, I love you, Creed. But yeah, everything gets like that. I mean, it's going to happen now with hip-hop and pop.
Yeah, but it's taken a long time right now. I'm still waiting.
I think everybody's still waiting. We're waiting for that to get cleared out and bring back some rock and roll again.
Yeah, but it's not going to be us, It's gonna be some psycho nutcase 17-year-old kid that comes out of his parents' house, all fingers like this, saying "fuck you," and this is the way rock music needs to be now, and we won't even know it happened. And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Let me ask you about this record now. You have a bunch of different, beyond Chris and Brent, you've got a bunch of different guests on this record, right?
Correct.
So I actually wrote them all down because I was listening to the record before I came in here. If you can, give me a little something on everybody. How the hell did you get Dave Grohl on the record?
I was like, dude, I got to talk to you about something. Here's a guitar.
Dave's on more than one track.
Now,
He's
Dave's
got a
on
pretty
3 or
big
4
role in
songs, yeah. He's like, every time I make a record, I usually ask him to come around. He taught me how to do this shit.
Now, do you play drums on the whole record?
Yeah.
You do. So was there ever any thought of having Dave play drums on the track? And
he never wants to.
Because live, I've seen you do that.
Yeah, no, we do. We switch around a little bit every once in a while.
Foo Fighters, yeah.
No, he just wants to play guitar. And I mean, with Dave, you were there. I mean, you get 3 hours or 2 hours maybe, and then you hand him a guitar, and he's like, "Well, what is this stupid song?" Okay, all right. It's
true.
You get it done, and then he's like, "I gotta go," and you're happy to have him, and there you go.
What he does in those 2 hours.
But what he does
amazing.
in those 2 hours is amazing, and I've learned so much from him. He was the first person I ever saw really make by themselves, go play drums and then pick up a guitar, and then pick up a bass and then go in there and do a vocal track really quick. And I learned how to do that from him, and I learned so much from him. So he's always invited to the party, always.
You ever bowl with him? He was on my bowling team a couple weeks ago. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
He may still be a pins in that.
Brent
was on mine too.
Brent and I left him in lane 6 pretty late.
Oh yeah, he can
Sponsored by Jägermeister.
He can go big. He's big. He can go big.
No, we had a great time with him there. But yeah, that's okay. So obviously Dave Grohl's on how many tracks? 4 tracks.
4 tracks.
All right, let's go down the line. This is amazing and great vocal. You're trading off vocal. Nancy Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, from Heart is on this record.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how that happened was I was driving down I wanted to have, I mean, the record just kind of developed out of just bullshitting, really. I mean, like we started out recording crap, and then we're like, okay, well, that's pretty good. And then I'm like, wouldn't it be fun to have some girls sing on this record? So I asked a lot of girls, and not all of them said yes. And I was driving down the road with my daughter, and I was like, I want to do another duet with a girl. And I wanted to do one with the girl from Terry Nunn from Berlin. I really wanted Olivia Newton-John.
For real? For Olivia?
Real, dude.
Yeah. Did you try?
I tried, and I got a big no.
Really?
Yeah.
And what happened to Terry Nunn?
Her from the Foo Fighters. I'm not like...
Well, what happened to Terry Nunn? She said no, too?
No, we just kind of couldn't decide on a time and a place and a song, et cetera, et cetera. We'll get to it.
I feel a cover of the Metro somewhere in your future.
I mean, I feel, something. I love her voice. I fucking love her voice.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I had met Nancy a couple times. We did a few things with the Foo Fighters with Heart, and we played Letterman with them, and we did a couple shows together. And me and Brent and Chaney wrote this song. And it was one of the last songs we wrote, and I knew she lived up in Topanga at the time. She's moved since. And I just said, hey, and I texted my management. I said, can you get her info for me? And I called her. I texted her. I said, hey, it's Taylor. Here's a song. You want to come sing on it? It was all low key. It wasn't like, I'm making a record down at the record plant. I'll send the limo to come get you. And it was all in my backyard, really.
Did you do the record at your house?
Yeah,
you did
in my backyard.
You did. So it's just, hey, come by and...
On $50,000 worth of recording gear.
How long did it take you to do it, total?
We did it in little spurts, because we did it in all the little spaces in between the last Foo Fighters tour, and Brent touring with Sebastian, and Chaney busy with his sessions, and Jane's. I mean, it was literally hey,
It was 2 years.
Can you guys do something today? No. Yes.
The momentum shifted
Come over.
in March.
Yeah, I mean, once we knew we had kind of once we had 4 or 5 songs in the can, and I knew we had sort of there's not really a direction in this record. It's pretty schizophrenic, really, and I like that. But once I knew we had 5 or 6 strong enough songs to make a record and some sort of direction, I was like, okay, let's go. And then from that point on, it was a lot more of a straight line. But every time I make records on my own, rarely do I go, okay, recording starts on December 1st. We need to be done by January 15th. It's not like that. We get together as friends, and, we recorded about 5 or 6 other things that were pieces of shit.
Awesome songs that
They
didn't
suck
make the cut.
ass.
Yeah.
Differing of opinion here from Mr. Chaney.
Go slowly, right?
Now, we got a couple things on the editing room floor that may come back at some point. I mean, there's things on this record that are, 10 years old.
So you also have, of course, you say you've got Chris Chaney, of course, in the band, great bass player, but you also got Duff McKagan coming in playing bass on some tracks.
Yeah, he's a bro.
Yeah.
He's a good friend. We've mountain biked together a bit and did burpees together. He's a fucking strong motherfucker.
Fitness junkie.
But he's a great song. He had a lot. Listen, all respect to everybody in Guns N' Roses. They would not exist if it wasn't for Duff McKagan. That guy is so together.
Yeah, I agree.
Even when he was untogether, he was together. I mean, he was the guy going to all the clubs, making sure, the flyers were in the right place. And you can just tell he's just got that sort of sense. But he's also got a great songwriting sense. And he's got a great pop sensibility. I mean, he's got a lot to do with all of those big, huge Guns N' Roses songs that we still hear on KLOS and every day and XM every day. He's a big part of that. And we're friends, and I love him. And we worked on a couple songs, and he played bass on a couple songs, so we threw Chaney on keyboards on those songs, and and I love him. He's rad.
Yeah, he was on
Good friend.
not too long ago with us. I make the case we may not have had this gargantuan Guns N' Roses reunion if it wasn't for him, because I think a lot of people forget he was actually in the band for about 15 shows before the whole thing with Slash happened. He was playing with that. So I always thought Duff's a smart guy. I always thought he probably was be putting that thing together behind the scenes, getting in people's ears, and I think he was,
I
in
think
there
in the
early.
end, it came to probably on some. I don't know Axl. I've met him a few times. I think he's a brilliant singer. I think he's an amazing frontman. I think he's great. I think in the end he realized I need having these two guys on stage with me is the real deal. Legitimizes everything. It would be great to have all original members and everything. Unfortunately, I guess it just couldn't happen. But just me and my wife Allison went and saw. I said, me and Allison, if you guys know her. Me and my wife Allison went and saw Guns N' Roses at the Forum, I don't know, 2 years ago or something.
97, yeah.
No, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was November 97. That's
97?
Sorry,
2017.
God, get him another drink. Jesus.
I had too many Tito's and soda.
Oh, Jesus. Anyways, and it was awesome. And it was like a trip through high school with us, but it was also, they're still really great. And Axl's still a mesmerizing front man, and Duff's great, and he was flipping pics at me with, and Slash. They're great.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Fucking great.
All right,
I'm glad they're back together.
We got to take a break. We're going to come back more with these guys. If we have time, we'll squeeze in a couple questions from the audience. There's a few more guests I want to go through. It's a really cool record, and I'm not just saying that. It's a very eclectic record. You hear a lot of different things. Like you said, it's schizophrenic, but in a cool way. Obviously, I hear your love of Queen all over it, which is not a surprise. I don't think anybody that knows you.
Yeah, no, I mean, the multi-layered vocals and stuff, and Roger Taylor's a huge influence.
Well, we're going to get to him because Roger Taylor's on the record singing a track on the back end of the record, which we'll touch on in a second.
The ass of the record.
Let's get a break. We'll come back. We'll have about 15 minutes left to go. From the Rainbow, the album is called Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. The Coattail Riders would be Brent and Chris that are here. And the album.
I'm a coattail rider too, by the way.
Well, but you're
we'll talk about that
Yeah, let's clarify that. Before we go any further, you need to clarify the name.
Clarify the name.
So let's hear it, Taylor.
Okay, so originally, my good friend Tim Clohussy, who's good friends with all of us, he called me a coattail rider because I was making a record, and the only reason anyone would give a crap about it is because I play drums in the Foo Fighters. And so he said, oh, you're just coattail riding. I'm like, that's a great name for a band. So when we made the first record, it was going to be the Coattail Riders. And I put the record out on, what was the name? Thrive Records.
Yeah.
And nice enough guy, gave us a little bit of dough, put the record out, went a little touring. But he's like, I need you to change the name, Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. I'm like, but that's not what it means. I'm a coattail rider. And think that because I'm in the Foo Fighters. Like the only reason, he didn't get it. He's like, no, but Taylor Hawkins, you will sell 1 million records if you have Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. We didn't sell 1 million records.
Didn't matter what you called it.
But we're stuck with the name.
Now, you wanted, as we go through the guests, you wanted to mention, Chris, you wanted to mention.
I get a text from Taylor. I was over in somewhere like Berlin.
Istanbul.
And he says, you're not going to believe who I just had a conversation with. And it was Mark King from Level 42.
Because there's something about you, baby.
So,
it's Chris's favorite band.
One of my favorites.
Is it really?
Yeah. No, we love him. Me and Chaney both have a...
We have this weird... I actually saw him at the Fillmore in San Francisco on the Running in the Family tour. And...
No one knows what that means.
You guys are hard into the 80s new wave, huh?
We've already lost them.
Taylor says you have to text him right away. I got it. I want to get him
so
on the
he's
song
this
on the
guy.
record.
He's got the bass. He's like a
gnarly drummer, slapper, bass.
But me and Chaney were both music dorks when we were kids, so we both loved Level 42, and they wrote great pop songs.
I was 14 at the time.
I was 12.
You know what I'm thinking as you guys are talking about this, so that would be really cool. If you, because you do records for fun and you're having fun doing this, why not do a record like, I don't know, a Missing Person song, a Level 42 song, and do your versions of it? Do like rocked up versions.
Chevy Metals.
That's our next record. Thanks.
For real? Are you really going to do that?
Yeah, then the songs will be good. Just kidding.
Oh man.
So do you do that with Chevy Metal? You do stuff like new wave stuff too? Because
Yeah.
I've never seen Chevy Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do the
What do we do?
What?
Well, we do the, you know, that thing.
Brent's talking with his hands on the radio.
We do, you know.
Brent's
we do-
hungover.
we
We
do
got to
like-
get
turning
back.
Japanese by the
We
Vapors.
do My Sharona,
My
turn in
Sharona.
Japanese, Psycho Killer. Yeah,
Yeah.
we enter into the new wave world.
All right. Let's
It's all
finish.
part of one big sauce.
Let's go down the list of the guests that are on Get the Money, and they include, well, you said Perry from Jane's is on it,
My hero,
so you got him on the track. Joe Walsh is on a song.
Joe Walsh. I was lucky enough to get Joe Walsh on a song.
It's pretty good.
You want a shredder? I don't do that. Joe, I don't want a shredder. No, yeah, you do. So you know what he did? He did a guitar solo in
Half
speed and then sped it up. Here's your shredder guitar solo, asshole.
Why did he think you wanted
I
that
don't
kind
know.
of solo?
It's all fast. I don't play like that. I'm like, I just do a slide solo. It's fine, Joe. You want a shredder?
I want Steve Lukather's.
I don't. Yeah, I said, you want Steve Lukather? I'm like, I don't. I mean, I like Steve Lukather fine, but I want Joe Walsh.
You want Yngwie Malmsteen, you'd call Yngwie Malmsteen.
But he did. He go, I got a good idea. That's Joe Malmsteen.
Chrissy Hind is on the record. Chrissy Hind.
I am
gets a
not
round of
wor- I am
applause
not
out there.
fucking worthy. We are not worthy to be on the same song
That's for
as
sure.
Chrissy
That was a
Hind.
dream for me.
There's
I
no
love
fucking
Chrissy.
question. She's just the baddest motherfucker on the planet. And, you know, that came through one of the ladies that sings backgrounds with the Foo Fighters on tour for on the last tour. And I was making this record and I was playing it for the ladies. And I'm like, I need another lady. I want, you know, and Barbara, one of the singers, who's also just a great musician, but she's like, get Chrissy Hind. I'm like, I can't get fucking Chrissy Hind. She goes, I know her. I played with her. 5 minutes later, she goes, I'm going to email her right now. I'm like, no, it's Chrissy Hind. She's not going to want to be on my record. And 5 minutes later, I get an email from Chrissy Hind saying, you want me on your record? Send me the song. I'm like, fuck, okay. And I had scrolled through my 8 songs that we had done at that time. I'm like, maybe this one. I don't know. And I sent it to her. She's like, yeah, I'll sing on it. And I'm like, do you like it? She's like, it's kind of juvenile, but it's okay. And that's the way our relationship has been ever since.
Now, did she come to your studio, or did she send the track in?
She lives over in Europe and England and UK. So she found it. She went to a studio, and I sent her that's the beauty of computer rock. You can do that. You can send files back and forth.
This one's interesting. Leanne Rimes, speaking of women on the record.
Yeah.
Right.
Where did that come about?
So our kids went to the same school, and we went to a school event that they have a lot of these things in LA, where a bunch of rich parents get together and watch, pay more money to do school events. And she was singing at this one, and I just listened to her sing, and I was like, wow, she's got a fucking amazing voice. And I talked to her a little bit afterwards. I'm like, you're a great singer. And then we had some friends that were friends, and our kids played on the same soccer team, maybe, I don't know, at one point. And so we'd met her, and I just reached out to one of my friends that was friends with her husband, and I said, do you think Leanne would want to do a psychedelic stoner prog rock song called See You in Hell?
Done by a coattail rider?
And she was like, yeah, fucking, why not? And she came over, and she was super rad. She's a super cool lady. And her husband's really cool. Eddie, he's the handsomest guy in the world. My wife's jaw just dropped to the ground along with everyone else. And but he's a really nice cat and super cool. And she came over, and it's a funny thing when you don't know someone and you start cutting tracks with them, especially vocally. It's kind of invasive, and it's personal, and someone steps up to a microphone and you don't really know this person. You're like, well, the lyrics go like this, and you're just getting to know each other. And then usually, as it was with Nancy, as well as with Leanne, I know Perry, so that was easy, and I know Dave, that was easy. But Chrissy obviously was somewhere else. But I remember with Leanne, like we had to get comfortable. But by the time she knew I was on the level and she was on the level, it was all good. Then we just had fun, and then we're just musicians just having fun together. That's what, to me, if there's anything that this record represents, it's the sound of a bunch of people getting together. Just not, no one's gonna buy any mansions from this record.
Right.
No one's gonna. I don't think there's going to be a Grammy involved.
Right now, Brent and Chris are like, well, really?
Brent's like, what? Really?
Wait,
Should I
what's
leave?
going on?
You said, but
Chaney's going to join level 42. He's like, I'm out of here, man.
Exactly.
That's right.
In all seriousness, it's the sound of a bunch of friends getting together and making music, and it's fun.
The way we recorded her vocals too, we were just in the room sitting down on the carpet.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Leanne's like, "Can I take off? I can't sing with my shoes on." I'm like, "Okay," and I have to take all my jewelry off. I'm like, "Okay," and I can't stand in a studio. There's like this microphone, this great Neumann $100,000 German microphone, and she's like, "Can I just take that off the stand and lay on the ground and sing?" I'm like, "Okay," and she did, and she could get these weird notes out. She's like, I could get this note if I stretch my back this way. She was
like a yoga class.
She was rad, though. She was super cool.
All right, we're going to run out of time. We got like 3 minutes.
Taylor, we should talk about real quickly. I was up in Portland with.
Okay, yes, the album,
Bad
the fairy dust on this record was supplied by the great Sylvia.
Mix the record.
Yeah, she mixed the record, and she took it to a whole new level.
I got to ask you before we run out of time about Roger Taylor. Obviously, you're a
nice
Queen fanatic. Having him on and having him sing. He doesn't play drums, right? He just sings on the record. Yeah. So I imagine just over the years you've built a relationship with him and you called him up. And it's a cover.
It's more of a stalker situation.
And it's a cover of Shapes of Things, which is the only cover on the record. Steve Jones is on it. Pat Smear's on it as well. Why did you decide to do Shapes of Things and have Roger Taylor sing it?
Well, actually, Shapes of Things, the original rhythm track, me and Chaney and Gannon, the first guitar player for Coattails, we cut that live 10 years ago. And it was sitting in the can, and I forgot about it. We were going to use it as a B-side, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know, I was listening to a Van Halen record, and I'm like, well, they have covers on their record. And I didn't really have another good song. And I was like, well, wouldn't it be kind of cool? And there's something about the Jeff Beck group Truth that really, to me, signifies like what a great... I mean, there was Cream in the Hendrix Experience before, so obviously there was a lot leading up to that. But there's something about Jeff Beck Truth that is just like the proto hard rock band. Rod Stewart singing, Ron Wood playing drums, Jeff Beck playing guitar, and the Shapes of Things, their version of it, which is a cover of the Yardbirds,
right.
It's just electric.
2 quick things.
And so, yes, I asked Roger Taylor, would you like to sing on it? He said, no, not really, but he did anyway.
Are you going to be able to do live shows, you guys?
No.
None?
I don't know. I hope so. We'll
Great.
Brent and Chris are like,
I know.
Well, I got to
goes
just
our
found this out. There goes the mansion. There goes
the condo.
Chris is going
My
back
rent.
to Brent's looking at more time on the road with Sebastian.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I mean, we're all super busy, you know. Foo Fighters.
You're doing a Foo Fighters record now, right?
We're already in the process, so we're gonna hopefully do a Kimmel and a TV show, but I think that this is the kind of band that could tour out of cycle.
I got to go. They're cutting me on time.
So get
Thank
the
you,
fuck
guys.
outta
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Well, rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley. Hard to believe both of those artists are now no longer with us, but I hope you enjoyed us revisiting their appearance when they joined us together at the Rainbow on the Sunset Strip back in November of 2019 as the Best of Trunk Nation.